This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Every year, thousands of bikes are stolen in Winnipeg, but it's not so often people get them back, even when they know exactly where they are. CBC's Mike Arsenault shares one man's story and frustration.
That's the air tracker again.
Louis knows where his stolen bike is, but he can't get it back.
I do have a tracker on it, so I immediately pulled up just my Find My, so like an air tag.
We're not using his last name or showing his face because Louis' bike was stolen outside his child's daycare last week, and now he's concerned for his family's safety. He tracked his bike to a house on Disraeli Street, knocked on the door, and spoke to a man who claimed he bought it earlier that day.
Yeah, I bought a bike, and I had mentioned that it was like teal and orange in color, and they mentioned, yeah, that sounds like the bike I have.
Louis agreed to buy it back. When he returned with the money, the man was gone. He continued to track his bike as it moved through downtown. At one point, he saw a bike similar to his at a homeless encampment on Disraeli.
Louis' AirTag led him to this hotel, and it's still active. But he has a lot of unanswered questions. He doesn't know if his bike's here, if the AirTag's been removed, or if his bike is still in one piece.
In June, police said it was investigating a bike chop shop at this Disraeli encampment. The city's website says around 3,000 bikes are stolen each year in Winnipeg.
I remembered I had an AirTag on it, and I tracked it.
Rick Julius was luckier with his AirTag. Last week, he wiped out while riding his e-bike.
I woke up in the Health Science Center, and I asked the police, where's my bike? And they didn't have a bike with me when they found it.
Julius pulled up his air tracker and saw his bike was at the Dugald Road police station.
And they had my bike. They confiscated it off of somebody that shouldn't have had the bike. And yeah, they arranged for me to get it back a few days later because of the AirTag.
Julius wants police to crack down on bike theft, a sentiment echoed by Louis, who's still tracking his bike through downtown.
I understand that, they're probably busy with bigger things than a $400 and $500 bike. But when does it become a bigger problem?
WPS says Louis' online report was triaged and the property crimes unit has been assigned. They recommend people don't attempt to recover stolen property themselves. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Winnipeg woman is paying the price after a Canada goose got in her way. The birds are protected by law, and while they may be a nuisance, pushing back will cost you. It's a case one expert says highlights a rarely used area of the law. CBC's Caitlin Gowerluck has that story.
They can be loud, aggressive, and they don't seem to care if they're in your way. But interactions between people and geese aren't always this polite.
And as one woman found out recently, messing with a goose can mean legal trouble.
It started one night when the woman was trying to go to her friend's apartment. When she got out of the car, there was a nesting Canada goose in her way. So she threw a bottle of leather cleaner at it, then a pylon to try to scare it off. But someone nearby was taking a video and reported her.
The woman was charged under what's known as the Migratory Birds Convention Act, which protects birds like geese. She pleaded guilty in a Winnipeg courtroom last month and was fined $300. One animal lawyer says she thinks these kinds of incidents happen all the time, but it's rare for someone to actually get charged.
The difference in this case is that person was caught.
In Manitoba, the province says most charges under the legislation are related to hunting, but it can also include things like disturbing nests, taking eggs, or selling bird taxidermy or feathers. Conservation officers lay these kinds of charges about 3 to 6 times a year.
And I think that's where a lot of people say, they come before the court and they say, well, I didn't know that was a crime. But that doesn't matter.
And the fines for harassing or injuring migratory birds can be high.
I've seen a few $100s and I've seen a few $1,000s.
A provincial spokesperson says the law protecting Canada geese comes from a time when their populations were struggling. As for the recent case in Winnipeg, the prosecutor told court she hopes the fine drives home a message that as frustrating as geese can be, they're protected in Canada, so you just have to work around them. Caitlin Gowerluck, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Police say 2 people were taken to hospital after a multi-vehicle crash in the West End. It happened Monday morning at 9 at Ellis and Banning Street. Police say 4 cars were stopped at a red light heading westbound on Ellis when they were struck by another car from behind. The 70-year-old driver and his passenger were taken to hospital. Police say the force of the impact left all of the cars undrivable with significant damages. The intersection stayed closed for the majority of the day. Well, the shift in winds is helping the firefight in one part of the province. It's allowed Nisitchwayasik Cree Nation to put a pause on evacuations. But Manitoba is in the midst of its worst wildfire season in 3 decades. And while it's destroyed swaths of land and some properties, it's just narrowly missed others. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has the latest.
This is near Don Halcrow's home at the Churchill River Lodge in Leaf Rapids. A raging wildfire dangerously close to her business.
Getting around Leaf Rapids, the fire is so big it wrapped around at 2 different times, and the winds were crazy, so it was really hard to predict.
Halcrow got in a boat and spent around 7 hours waiting it out. Not sure what to expect when she got back home.
It was very emotional. I cried walking back in.
Then, finally, some relief.
Amazingly enough, fire went around and we had very little damage. I mean, we had damage in the back, but the main structures and buildings here weren't touched.
Churchill River Lodge is about 11 kilometers north of the town of Leaf Rapids. It was evacuated last month because of nearby wildfires. Halcrow often thinks about the people who came to Winnipeg.
You're better off there. I know you want to come home, but you're going to have to let these people do their jobs and try to get it cleaned up.
Smoky skies over the long weekend in Nisitchwayasik Cree Nation, or NCN. Wildfires threatened vital road access too. That's why about 2,500 people were forced out of the community. It's the second evacuation in less than a month. Nicole Woodhart and 6 of her children are staying in Winnipeg.
It's horrible. I thought I was just getting comfortable at home, and then all of a sudden, nope, got to get up and we have to go.
NCN Deputy Chief Marcel Moody says the evacuation has now been suspended.
Right now, I mean, the situation, is a little bit better than Saturday. And that's the reason why we evacuated our people on starting Saturday. But the way the situation has improved, that it could get worse very quickly too.
The chief is asking for patience as officials figure out when residents can go home. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, you've probably noticed it, but Winnipeg is experiencing its smokiest year on record. There have been 306 hours of wildfire smoke observed at the airport so far in 2025. That surpasses the previous record that was set back in 1961, and it's expected to keep rising. Environment and Climate Canada meteorologist says warmer summers are driving up the risk of wildfires.
We have sort of a longer season that potentially supports the wildfires with that changing climate, and that's kind of expected to continue. So the way the last few summers have gone, I don't think it's unreasonable to kind of wonder if this is maybe a preview of what summer might be like for a lot of Canada.
Now, 4 of the top 5 smokiest years in Winnipeg have occurred since 2021. Thompson and Kenora are also experiencing their smokiest years on record. Let's bring in Riley Lachuk. And Riley, really no surprise to many Manitobans who have been dealing with that smoke all summer long, and really we're seeing it in many parts of the country.
Yeah, right into eastern parts of the country, through Ontario, even into parts of Quebec, dealing with poor air quality, and even down in parts of the U.S. Eastern seaboard, dealing with smoke from wildfires that are burning here in Manitoba and in Saskatchewan. Closer to home, air quality warnings remaining in place for virtually all of northern Manitoba. Do expect these to hold in place, and particularly for places like Flin Flon into Thompson, expect poor air quality to last for the coming days, because we are looking at a bit of a shift in pattern, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Severe thunderstorm watches in place for Brandon, Dauphin into Westman. Watching a couple of things on satellite and radar. First, this line line of storms that's developed along Highway number 6. We got a brief shower through Winnipeg earlier into the late afternoon hours, and then a little bit of instability rolling through Westman as well, which could be bringing the potential for some hail, some gusty winds, even some very heavy downpours as we get into the evening hours tonight, as some of this starts to make its way through parts of central and Manitoba as well. So there's a look at some of that rain as it pushed through Winnipeg. A quick 10-minute rain. Brittany, we'll talk about the potential for more precipitation when I come back in a bit.
All right, Riley, keeping an eye on that for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The founder of the Canad Inns hotel chain has passed away. Leo Ledachowski is being remembered as a pillar in the business community. Under him, Canad Inns became the largest hotel chain in the province with 9 locations across Manitoba. The CEO of the Business Council of Manitoba calls him a visionary entrepreneur who transformed the hospitality experience in our province. Ledachowski served on multiple boards during his time, including the Manitoba Hotel Association for more than 25 years. Winnipeg's Outlet Mall could soon have a new anchor tenant, but what might soon fill the large empty space? More on that straight ahead. It owns brands like Urban Planet, West 49 and Susie Shear, and now YM Inc. has its sights set on a new space. The clothing retailer will lease 5 former Saks Off Fifth stores, including the one sitting empty at the outlet mall here in Winnipeg. And shoppers are eager to find out what exactly will be taking its place. CBC's Zubina Ahmed brings us more.
This vacant department store, which was home to Saks Off Fifth, may not be empty much longer. The fashion retailer was owned by Hudson's Bay Company and closed earlier this year, leaving some shoppers thinking about what they would like to take its place.
Like nice restaurants to eat.
A larger retail, maybe slightly higher end retail.
I think they could add activities to malls, that sort of thing. Yeah, like bowling or those types of things, or like a mini golf thing. I mean, that'd be like big, but
yeah, arcade, like an old school arcade would be really fun.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. What about you?
Well, even like at the Forks, I know they have 2 ping pong tables there, and it's always busy, so I feel like something like that, or pool even.
Legal filings from Ontario are shedding light on what might actually go here next. 5 leases across Canada, previously held by Saks Off Fifth, will be taken over by a different clothing retailer called YM. The $5 million deal has sparked questions about the future of other empty spaces left by stores owned by Hudson's Bay Company. Lauren Remillard with the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce says he's confident the vacant spaces will find a new life soon.
What we've seen and represents some real opportunities for success is taking these properties and dividing them into smaller units for businesses. That's one approach. Another, and we've seen this in particular in the St. Vital Centre, there's fitness center, creating destinations for people to come to for things other than shopping. So more that experiential destination space.
Remillard says shopping behaviors have changed with e-commerce, but doesn't agree that brick and mortar is fading.
People still want to be able to experience a bricks and mortar retail experience. Go into a store, try on that outfit, try on those shoes, interact with the electronic device they want to purchase.
But Craig Patterson, founder and publisher of the Retail Insider, says these spaces might be empty for a while.
If you just think about what we've lost in the last decade, again with Target and with Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth Avenue, which is part of the Hudson Bay Company, but in Canada and the States for a while. But we've lost quite a bit of retail here, and a lot of anchor spaces have become vacant.
Outlet Collection Winnipeg wouldn't comment about the former Saks Off Fifth, and YM hasn't yet responded to our questions about what will fill the empty space. Zubina Ahmed, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Cases of Lyme disease are rising in Canada, expected to top more than 5,000 cases last year alone. This is as pop star Justin Timberlake reveals he's battling the disease. Alison Northcott looks at why cases are increasing and how you can protect yourself.
As his world tour came to an end, amid criticism from some about lackluster, low-energy performances, singer Justin Timberlake revealed he'd been diagnosed with Lyme disease. Living with this can be relentlessly debilitating, he wrote on Instagram, adding he was shocked by the diagnosis, but at least I could understand why I would be on stage and in a massive amount of nerve pain or just feeling crazy fatigue or sickness. He's the latest celebrity to speak out about Lyme disease caused by a bacteria carried by some ticks. Canadian singers Shania Twain and Avril Lavigne have also spoken about their past struggles.
I was in Los Angeles and it was literally the worst time of my life.
It needs to be caught and treated early.
This infectious disease specialist says Lyme disease appears in 3 phases, usually starting with a rash that often looks like a bullseye. It can lead to fever, chills, and joint pain, and can progress sometimes over months if untreated.
Stage 3, that's when you really have some pretty dangerous neurological involvement, or you can also have involvement of your muscles and joints.
In Canada, Lyme disease cases have been climbing over the past decade. There were just over 500 in 2014. In 2024, there were more than 5,000, according to preliminary estimates. Experts say climate change is one factor, bringing ticks to regions once too cold for them.
Rising temperatures and longer summers, they extend the tick season and they keep them active, and that means biting for more time of the year.
This specialist says most cases can be treated early on with antibiotics.
The faster we treat them,
the easier it is for the patient and the less side effects and residual symptoms they have.
With ticks spreading to more parts of the country, experts say people need to protect themselves with long clothing, bug spray with DEET, and frequent tick checks. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Riley's back in now. I get squeamish just looking and listening to that. I've had too many tick encounters, like many in Manitoba, and we are right in the height of that season. Long weekends and people out at the lake and at the parks. And
oh yeah, we have leeches in the water too.
Oh, good. So. Just another reason not to go. I use the fish finder.
I grew up on the farm. We're used to that.
I use the fish finder to tell me where not to swim when there's too many fish.
There you go. So before the little 10-minute rain, it was actually a really warm day here in the city. Some very warm conditions to the north as well, Brittany. Looking at some of our temperatures from the afternoon, officially 26.8 in Winnipeg this afternoon. But look into northern Manitoba, Churchill, Gillam both at 30 this afternoon, 29 in Swan River, Dauphin at 25 this afternoon. 26 is very seasonal into northwestern Ontario. Not overly humid, but a touch of humidity added to the mix there as well. This does change slightly in that we're looking at some unsettled weather moving into the province. We've started to see that on satellite and radar already, particularly into the west, where we have seen some thunderstorms, the potential for some hail, some strong winds, and some downpours as we've gotten throughout the afternoon, particularly anywhere sort of west of Brandon toward Virden into Saskatchewan, looking at that potential. And we have seen this, as I was showing you earlier, developing throughout the later afternoon hours, kind of along Highway 6 down into the Steinbach region along Highway number 12 as well. So some thunderstorm activity rolling through. This all part of our next weather maker that pushes into the province as we get into the day on Wednesday. So as we move forward in time here, you can see this frontal boundary start to push through. This moving along with an area of low pressure through Saskatchewan, and this could trigger a few scattered showers into the overnight hours into the Red River Valley. More likely that we'll see some of that into Westman as we get into the overnight period into Wednesday morning. But certainly on the other side of this, some more instability rolling through northwestern Ontario, even with some accumulating rain into the early morning hours tomorrow. Here in southern Manitoba, I don't think this is more than scattered showers, but certainly as we get into the afternoon again and we get some of this frontal boundary pushing through, we could get into some scattered thunderstorms once again as we head overnight Wednesday into the day on Thursday. However, this is a bit more of a rain event into northern Manitoba as we get through the day Wednesday as well. So some instability rolling through, not necessarily a bad thing, but looking at some of the numbers here, certainly the potential of 15 to 30 millimeters even into parts of northwestern Ontario. Regions that are dealing with the wildfires could certainly use that. In southern Manitoba, pretty scattered, but where you do see some of these thunderstorms, do expect some of these numbers to be enhanced a little bit with some of that potential for some downpours as we get through the next 24 hours or so here. What you will notice is a shift in winds again back to a more southerly flow through southern Manitoba as we get through into Wednesday. So this will help clear us out, but then as that low moves across northern Manitoba, it really just recirculates some of this wildfire smoke and some of this haze. So very, very poor air quality for places like Thompson into Lynn Lake once again as we get through the next couple of days here. So keep an eye on that air quality health index. Temperatures above seasonal in the south tomorrow, Brittany, 27s, 28s into southern Manitoba, and slightly cooler into the north as well as those showers push through.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
Coming up, the moment a great white shark made a surprise appearance during a research expedition. More on the coastal encounter next. Japan is feeling the summer heat in a big way. The country just recorded its highest ever temperature of 41.8 degrees Celsius. Officials are advising people to stay indoors because of concerns about heat-related risks. They say more than 50,000 people have been taken to hospital for heat stroke this summer.
Okay, so certainly not that hot here in Manitoba, but we have seen some temperatures into the 30s, as I showed you, into parts of northern Manitoba. Okay, I know we missed it on Friday, so let's do Feline Friday on a Tuesday here and pretend that it's Friday today, because we all like Fridays, don't we? Bastet, thank you. Token and Eric for sending this picture, and you can send your pets to talkback at cbc.ca, because I absolutely love to see them all. So we could get into some scattered showers in the morning for Winnipeg. 27 by the afternoon. We'll start to get some peaks of sunshine out, and then some clearing as we get into the evening hours, but we do have that risk of thunderstorms as we get into the evening hours once again. 29 for Thursday. We heat things up toward the weekend with some showers into Friday, and that, along the cold front, will pull us down to 23s for Saturday and Sunday. A marine biology student had a close encounter with a great white shark during a recent research expedition off the coast of Halifax.
Geraldine Fernandez snapped a stunning photo of the shark, and it was one that many people wondered if it was even real.
It was a very unique encounter. We're not normally looking for great white sharks in the Halifax waters, and we were just obsessing over this blue shark that came by. And within a split second, I just see a great white shark go through my screen, and we freaked. All the guests got their gear on, and we were in that water so quickly. One of the guests screamed, "Oh, it's coming up, it's coming up." All of a sudden, I just have this great image of the moment where, honestly, the moment where I fell in love with that shark. It was amazing.
This individual was, in the true sense, massive, close to approaching 15 feet long, and just an extraordinary animal. It was pretty much ignoring the bait for the most part, lifting its head out of the water to look what was happening above the water. And it was, those types of encounters are special.
I really want him to be seen the way that he actually was, which is just beautiful, graceful, elegant, and powerful. So powerful.
Beautiful from afar. I don't want to get anywhere close to that guy.
I'll take the leeches.
Very cool for them to see, though, out like that and capture it. But again, yeah, I'll keep my distance.
Yeah, maybe. I'm with you on that one.
Okay, the leeches over the sharks, we'll take it.
My mom will chase you with the salt shaker.
Okay. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.